question is, why do black leaders always beef with each other or always tend to fight each other?
You and I till the end, don't need to pretend. Again and again, we'll stick together. Everything is alright with you by my side. We won't say goodbye, we'll stick together.
What's up, family? It is Caden with Urban Finance, and today we're going to be talking about why black leaders are always fighting each other. It's been something that I have been wrestling with a lot with lately and have had some extra time to contemplate because of this whole coronavirus thing. I've been also doing a lot of readings, and one of the main things I've seen in a lot of my readings is that whoever the black leader was, they also had a black adversary. For example, while I was reading A Negro with a Hat, The Rise and Fall of Marcus Garvey, I learned that W.E.B. Dubois was Marcus Garvey's adversary, which was shocking to me, because I also knew that Booker T. Washington and W.E. Du Bois had also had a rivalry, who were also adversaries in some terms. And so that's one generation of black leaders. Fast forward a few decades, then we have the autobiography of Malcolm X. And then we found out that he was also beefing with just about every other black civil rights leader at that time. Not blaming Malcolm, and I'm not blaming Marcus. I'm just saying black leaders always seem to have some beef with each other. Fast forward to today, and whether you consider them to be leaders or not is irrelevant because a lot of black people listen to them. Dr. Umar Johnson and Dr. Boyce Watkins. Also, we hear about their beef. And so the question is, why do black leaders always beef with each other or always tend to fight each other? Okay, and I actually really want to hear your thoughts on this as well. And this is not like my usual informational video where I'm really teaching on something or really talking about finance or doing a book review. This is more of a rant because it's something that's really been bothering me and really been frustrating me as I've been doing a lot of my readings. One of the reasons, and this is the reasons that Marcus Garvey kind of talked about in his book, is that black people are like crabs in a barrel. For some reason, we think if one black person get ahead, that means somebody else won't be able to get ahead. And so instead of helping to lift each other up, a lot of black people see it easier to pull each other down. And it may even be somewhat part of human nature to not like to see other people be successful, even when you know and even sometimes like that other person. And this is the first reason I think that black leaders tend to be fighting with each other. If you read Marcus Garvey's book, you would learn from his perspective is that one of the main reasons that Garvey movement failed was because of his adversary, W.E.B. Du Bois. Yes, we know J. Edgar Hoover. Yes, we know American government. Yes, we know the British government was also against Garvey. But my question is, why can black leadership never get along? Then we read Malcolm X's book, and we see that even in his book, he talks for a while that Elijah Muhammad said that they didn't want the black Muslims to fight with any other groups. And according to Malcolm X, for a long time, they didn't respond to any of the critiques that other groups would hit them with. The civil rights movement groups most likely, or civil rights leaders were throwing them, whether they call them racist or whatever the case may be. And for a long time, he said Elijah Muhammad would not allow him to respond to them, even though he really wanted to. And Elijah Muhammad's reasoning was that he didn't want black people fighting against each other. Now, I'm no black Muslim, I don't know their doctrine, but that is one thing that I can get behind, as black people not fighting against each other. And I think that's one of the things that led to the downfall of Malcolm as well. We know that he was killed by a black man. Some say the black person was a part of the Nation of Islam. Some say he was an FBI agent. But we also see another prominent black figure, main downfall be as a result of black people fighting black people. And today, I'm very hard pressed to really think of who some black leaders are, but I would use these two popular figures because I really enjoyed their work at one time or another. I'm not going to comment on how I feel about either of them right now necessarily, because I too am very aware of not pulling down people that are in leadership positions. Whether this is wrong or right, some people may argue that some people need to be pulled down because they're misleading the people, but I'm someone, as right now in terms of my knowledge and education of black history, see that black people fighting against each other have always done more harm than good, so I'm not going to pull down any black leaders. But again, we see today with Umar Johnson and Dr. Boyce Watkins, who for many are the voice of black America. I would even throw in someone who I also know that a lot of people see to be one of the voices of black America, is Pastor Jamal Bryant, or Reverend Dr. Jamal Bryant. And we know that he too has his trials and tribulations amongst black leaders. But I'm not gonna focus on him right now. I'm really gonna focus on Dr. Umar Johnson and Dr. Boyce Watkins. And so my question today is, why are black leaders still really fighting each other? Have we not learned from history that we do not profit from fighting against each other? I think one of the things that's really hard is black pride. This is one of the reasons that Malcolm X started lashing out against other black leaders, is because of his pride. And again, I'm not trying to bash Malcolm, but I'm just saying something stirs up in us when someone is attacking us, that we feel an innate response to attack them back, even when we know that thing will lead to the ultimate destruction of the people or the group that we're trying to help. And so we see that even today, and I haven't seen any aggressive attacks among each other, more of subliminal attacks between Dr. Umar Johnson and Dr. Boyce Watkins. But we see our black leaders fighting again. Someone who talked a lot about black leadership in his book was Dr. Claude Anderson in his book Powernomics. And one of the things he was saying was, if black people don't improve how they develop and coach leaders, if black people don't get new leaders or even better leaders for themselves, they're not going to accomplish the things that they desire and need to accomplish. I don't know if Claude Anderson had any adversaries during his time that were also black leaders, but I'm positive that he did, with just what the history of our people have always been. Like I said, these were just some things that were on my head. The question of why do black leaders always end up fighting each other? Have we not learned from history that when black people fight each other, it has always led to our detriment? Another thing that Malcolm talks about in his book is that there are always some white puppet master. And if anyone knows me, I'm not the person that's always like, oh, everything is white versus black, even though in America racism is rampant in our society. We know racism is also a global thing. You know, I'm biased because I've felt the effects of a racist system, so okay, call that bias. But I also in no ways hate white people as a group. Nonetheless, Malcolm talks about the idea of the white puppet master that is pulling the string. Maybe that's another reason. We know that maybe a lot of our black organizations are funded by white money. And you know, when you're funded by someone, you have to do what they say. You don't have to do everything that they say, but there are limits to what you can say and there are limits to what you can do. And if you disagree with that, let me know. And I know that people are gonna attack this video on both fronts and thinking that, oh, you weren't aggressive enough on calling out racism, or you were too aggressive. You know, no matter what you say, someone's going to have something to say about it. So you can only say what you really believe, and to hell with anyone else. I really love Booker T. Washington for that. He talks about that in his book Up of Slavery, where people are going to disagree with your method of advancing the community, and that is what it is. It comes with the territory. If you want to be a leader, if you want to be in any type of leadership position and don't want people to disagree with you, you're seeking the wrong title. And even if you don't want to be in a leadership position, if you're seeking to help any group of people, someone is going to disagree with you. Okay, so I really want to know your thoughts. Definitely let me know in the comment section. Why do you think black leaders are always fighting each other? I hope you didn't mind me going on a slight rant about something that I've really been contemplating recently. And I really would like to hear your thoughts as well. Why are black leaders always fighting each other? Why are black leaders always pulling each other down? Or am I wrong on this subject? Do you not agree that black leaders are always pulling each other down? All right, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to our channel. And as always, love you and live your best life.